If you're currently comparing different solutions to create mailboxes for cold outreach, then this video will give you all the answers that you're looking for. We're going to be looking at the only 4 components and factors that really matter when choosing a provider, and we're going to be mapping out the entire market and compare and rank every choice so that you can make the best decision for your specific situation. Now, I want to be transparent. One of those choices is going to be Mailscale, which is a tool that I co-founded, but you absolutely don't need to use us. In fact, in this video, I'll point out when it makes sense and when it doesn't. The goal of this video is for you to have perfect clarity in the end so that you can make a decision that feels right in your situation. Without further ado, let's get started. The only 4 components that really matter are ease of setup, costs, deliverability and support, and reliability. In order to easily scale your cold email outreach, you want mailboxes that are easy and ideally automated to set up, that don't break the bank, especially at scale, that deliver well, and that won't get blocked. When you want to send cold emails at scale, you want to buy secondary domains that sound similar to your main domain and set up mailboxes underneath. You can't send emails at scale with free Gmail accounts, for example. You need professional email inboxes that are attached to a domain. There are 3 major categories to choose from when it comes to mailboxes for cold email outreach. The first one are manual Google Workspace and Microsoft Outlook accounts. The second category are Google or Outlook resellers. And the third category is dedicated cold email infrastructure. We actually pioneered this segment a 1.5 years ago and became the most popular choice with Mailscale. When it comes to manual Google and Outlook accounts, the ease of setup is pretty much zero. You need to buy domains separately with providers like Namecheap or GoDaddy, set up all the DNS records that you need to land in the inbox, such as the DKIM, the DMARC, the SPF records, and then you have to set up the mailboxes one by one manually, which can easily take like 10 to 15 minutes per mailbox. So you're looking at spending a couple of hours there. In terms of costs, we're looking at a 1 out of 10 because it costs around $7 a month per mailbox. I found that most people like to set up around 50 mailboxes in total, which is just the right amount to contact 5,000 to 10,000 prospects a month. So that will be almost $400 a month just for the mailboxes and hours to set them up. In terms of deliverability and support, this option gets an 8 out of 10, I'd say. Overall, deliverability is great because Google and Outlook are trusted senders, but there's obviously no support. Quite the opposite, you're kind of lucky if they don't shut you down for cold emailing. Reliability-wise, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Usually nothing happens, but cold emailing is against Google and Outlook's policies, so accounts can and will get shut down sometimes, and you get that notification where your accounts have been blocked. The next option are Google and Microsoft resellers. Now, in comparison to the manual setup, ease of setup here is around 7 out of 10. These providers will do some sort of agency service where you fill out a form and then they deliver the inboxes within a couple of days, configuring them all for you. Pricing-wise, we're looking at 5 out of 10 points with inboxes that go as low as $2 to $3 per month usually. In terms of deliverability and support, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 because there's no dedicated deliverability support. If your emails don't land in the inbox, which can happen all the time, you might need to stop using links or avoid certain new spam words, but no one will proactively help you. Reliability-wise, I've got to give this one a 3 out of 10 points. You have pretty much no control or ownership over your assets, and a lot of these providers use dodgy loopholes, edu panels, or foreign accounts to resell them cheap. Some even set up fake universities in Vietnam to get a Google Workspace university license to resell them, so be aware. And lastly, dedicated cold email infrastructure. It's kind of crazy to think that we were among the first to create the segment from scratch. So what happened was that 2 years ago, I had a lead generation agency and I offered cold email as a service. But at some point, I was spending over $10,000 a month on Microsoft and Google inboxes, and I had to hire a dedicated team member just to set up the mailboxes one by one. So at some point, I thought there has to be a better way. There has to be a way for us to set up an email infrastructure similar to what ActiveCampaign has for newsletter type of emails, but specifically for cold email outreach. So I ended up partnering with our now co-founder and CTO Mo to build it first for ourselves. Now I could configure 5 or 500 mailboxes literally in seconds and saving most of the costs. And as with many great stories, a lot of people asked me if I could provide this as a solution, and that was how Mailscale was born. And as a result of saving people a lot of time and money, we quickly grew this company to over $1 million in ARR in less than a year, which is honestly still surreal to me. Now, very few people actually know how dedicated email infrastructure works, so let me show you. When done right, providers like us buy our own IP spaces, we set up IMAP servers for receiving emails, SMTP servers for sending emails, and we automate all the needed configurations for cold emails specifically. And then to send millions of emails without damaging the reputation of our IPs, we monitor bounces and spam complaint rates on a sender-by-sender basis, so that when a new sender doesn't follow the best practices, their account gets paused, and we educate them on what they need to improve so it doesn't affect other senders. The result of all of this is a dashboard where you can easily add your own domains or buy similar sounding domains. They'll automatically be configured, and at the end you can bulk import them into any email sending tool like Instantly, SmartLead, or others. So setup wise, I'd give most dedicated email infrastructure solutions a 10 out of 10 points because the whole process is automated. Cost-wise, you'll also find the most affordable options here and pay as low as $1 a month per inbox with us, for example, instead of $7 a month with Google or Microsoft. So I'd give it a 10 out of 10 here too for the pricing. Deliverability-wise, these inboxes don't necessarily perform better than Google or Outlook inboxes, but also not worse. Deliverability isn't determined by which mailbox provider you use, but whether you follow the best practices that unfortunately change all the time. And all of this is also why support is so important. Overall, for deliverability and support, I'd give this segment 7 out of 10 points. What we personally do to try to bump this up to a 9 or 10 out of 10 is that we provide a dedicated deliverability specialist to every customer that you can chat with. Someone who helps make sure that your emails land in the inbox and actively supports you on all the things that change all the time within cold email. And also, we're the only ones offering a self-healing mechanism, which is currently in beta. Meaning we do daily inbox placement tests with an email that just needs to land in the inbox. Something like, hey John, are you coming to the barbecue on Sunday? And once we see that a domain is unhealthy or is underperforming because this email lands in the spam folder, then we automatically remove the domain from your cold email sending pool and recover it with our own warm-up procedure. Once it's back healthy, usually within 5 to 7 days, it will automatically be added back to your cold email sending pool, and that is how, combined with the dedicated support, you get significantly better deliverability with us. Reliability-wise, I'd give most providers in this category an average of 5. A lot of email infra providers rent IPs instead of owning them. For example, some rent IPs from Microsoft, which at first seems reasonable, but then you look up Microsoft's policies and you notice that it's against their policies to send cold emails. So just like with the Google and Outlook resellers, a lot of these providers are one complaint away from getting shut down, and so is your business if you're relying on them. We address this by building a fully self-owned email infrastructure, including purchasing our own IP spaces. And as a result, there's literally no one who can shut us down and nobody who can block your accounts. That's why in our case, I'd give reliability a 9 out of 10. So the final question, which mailbox provider should you be using? Well, I'm going to be honest, if you're planning to send less than 500 cold emails a month, you can stick with 1 or 2 manual Google Workspace accounts that you set up. But if you want to send more than that, and if you want to have the ability to easily scale up or down your outreach, just like with ads, you could give dedicated email infrastructure a try, for example, with Mailscale. We're the only provider in this space offering a free trial, where we even provide you with a free domain. Meaning we're literally spending and losing money on a domain that we buy for you just so that you can try it out. If you want to take advantage of that offer, I'll leave a link in the description below. I'm hoping this video was helpful and gave you the answers that you were looking for so that you can feel confident in making a decision and start scaling your cold outreach. I'll leave a video in the description that explains everything you need to know about cold emailing, including how you can get 10,000 emails off your ideal clients for less than $50. Make sure to check out that video. And again, if you want to take advantage of the free trial, I'm going to leave a link for that in the description as well. See you soon.